No, it's not okay. No, it's not okay. That dishonesty is not okay.
Yeah,
but continue. Go ahead.
I hear you. I hear you. I don't mean to excuse
but she's getting the likes that she wants, right? Otherwise, I mean, who would pay attention to anything she's doing if she's not attacking TYT? But anyway, continue, Jane.
Yeah.
Ooh la la. Things are heating up in the leftist ecosystem over there on the Young Turks. As you just heard, Ana Kasparian is having a bit of a cat fight with Francesca Fiorentini about Trump. The whole Trump phenomenon, I just find fascinating. Everything's because it causes. No, it's not just about the issues that he weighs in on, but it's about all the rippling effects that everything he says has everywhere. The media melts down, the leftists melt down, the traditional conservatives melt down. Everybody's melting down, and it just brings all these things up to the surface. Trump is like some giant Rorschach test or something. Everything he says and does, and every look he gives, every policy he mentions, literally every utterance, everything that comes out of his mouth, everybody in the media, all the influencer types, everyone who wants to be famous, the news organizations, people like the Young Turks, they all rush to approve it or to shoot it down or to say how evil he is or to say how brilliant he is too, for that matter. I just find it fascinating. He's like, you throw a pebble in a lake and just all these ripples come out of it and you don't know, and then the ripples themselves start interacting with each other. And you get these interesting patterns. And Trump just has that effect. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. But specifically today, what are we talking about? We're talking about the Guantanamo gulag that Trump is setting up, the concentration camp that Donald Trump is setting up at Guantanamo on the island of Cuba to house illegal immigrants, criminals, whatever, who are being deported. It's sort of a way station for them, apparently. I don't know the details of it, but what I do know is a lot of people talking about it. And of course, Guantanamo has been used for this purpose many times before. It was used apparently quite a bit by Bill Clinton. I don't remember at the time, but whatever. It's been used by presidents since Bill Clinton, by the way, including Obama, including Bush, including pretty much everybody. Back probably if we went back to Bill Clinton's day, we'd probably think, wow, those Democrats would look like right-wing terrorists compared to today's Democrats, and they probably had good deportation policies. They probably had halfway decent immigration policies. But, things have changed, and not for the better. So let's get into this. Let's see what they're saying. In the meantime, so they're going to talk about Gitmo, and they're also going to talk a bit about this drama between them and Francesca Fiorentini, which I really don't care about. But it's kind of good for a laugh. It's always fun to watch the left eat themselves.
But copying Dick Cheney, not a good look. I thought that all of MAGA was making fun of Kamala Harris for embracing Dick Cheney. But if you're embracing Dick Cheney's Frankenstein in Guantanamo, where the whole point was to kidnap people, by the way, oftentimes without any evidence, torture them, and treat them in an unconstitutional way because they thought Guantanamo was a lawless area where the law didn't apply. And now Trump is saying, oh, Dick Cheney had it right. Let's go send people there. At a bare minimum, not a good look. And overall, not a good policy. Okay, now the second issue is...
expelling illegals and criminals is a very good policy, actually.
Is this mass deportation camps, the gulags have begun, et cetera. Now look, I think that the clip that Francesca's using is misleading and totally out of context, but that's okay. But I know that...
No, it's not okay. No, it's not okay. That dishonesty is not okay.
Yeah,
but continue, go ahead.
I hear you, I hear you. I don't mean to
but she's getting the likes that she wants, right? Otherwise, I mean, who would pay attention to anything she's doing if she's not attacking TYT? But anyway, continue, Jane.
Yeah.
Oh dear, the cat fight here. Ana Kasparian is not happy with this Francesca Fiorentini girl. Oh, yes. E-drama. Who would have thought such a thing on why isn't TYT taking the high road? It's a mystery. I'm sure I've already looked at some of the commenters on this video, and of course, under every TYT video, it's like half and half. I think they must be hemorrhaging support.
Yeah. All right. So I have my issues with that, and I made that clear on her account, right? But what I'm more worried about is good folks that are getting into a panic because everyone's telling them the gulags are imminent, including some of our members. In fact, RepCat, the political cat board, great member, just wrote in, and I want to read it and then I want to address it because it's so related to this story. They wrote in, so now that we've got concentration camps already, and we're only less than 2 weeks in, are you going to listen to all of us, mostly queer people, sounding the alarms on this and the impending Christian Holocaust? No. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Guys, Clinton, as Anna just explained to you, you could look it up for yourself, even if you don't believe us, no problem, okay? Clinton used it and had 45,000 migrants there. The prison and the center are different, okay? So that doesn't mean that you should be in favor of sending them there. As I just told you, I think the content and the optics are bad and wrong. But if you call a migrant center that Bill Clinton had 45,000 migrants in a gulag that is showing you that we're about to have a Holocaust, then why didn't Clinton do the Holocaust? And here's the interesting part. Why didn't mainstream media tell you that Clinton was doing that and get all outraged like, I can't believe Clinton is using Guantanamo and he's stuffing these poor Haitian, by the way, immigrants, Cuban immigrants, Caribbean immigrants into Guantanamo. If they were equally outraged by that and they called that the impending Holocaust, and then they did the same exact thing with Trump, then I say, okay, at least they're being consistent. So look, two things can be true at the same time. It could be wrong to send them there without it being gulags that are going to imprison everybody that is undocumented immigrant or otherwise, and apparently we're going to set up concentration camps for Chinese people at some point. Okay, I mean, but when you go to those extremes, there's two giant problems. There's three giant problems. One is you're not being accurate, and that's an enormous problem. Okay, number two, you're scaring the hell out of everybody. In fact, you're helping Trump scare the hell out of everybody. Oh my God, the concentration camps are coming. Everybody's so super scared. That's what Trump wants. But
that is what he wants.
So I need everyone on that side to answer. Was it a concentration camp when Clinton did it? Okay, so let's be consistent, and maybe you'll say, yeah, it was, and you remember the Holocaust that happened right afterwards. Okay, so it doesn't excuse it. He shouldn't send them there. There's plenty of facilities here. And again, these are criminals, and I know, and here's another part that I'm opposed to. When they round up people that were not convicted of a crime, I'm against it, okay? So, and for a couple of reasons. And when they say, well, somebody was accused, good enough. No, not good enough. That's exactly one of the problems with sending people to Gitmo. That's exactly what we did last time. Somebody was accused, good enough. No, we got a whole bunch of people who didn't do it at all, that sat there for so long and got tortured, right? So I'm against the policy, but if you say this migrant center that we have used before, including Democratic presidents, is a concentration camp where they're going to do mass deportations of everyone, including Chinese Americans or whatever, right? Or Chinese immigrants or whatever crazy thing we're making up today. Well, you're doing a giant disservice to the truth and to your own viewers, readers, etc. You owe them the truth. And by the way, look, when you say about the LGBTQ community, there are things that you should be deeply concerned about. And we talked about it on the show the other day, or actually several times, which is banning transgender people from the military.
Wow, banning transgender people from the military. What a, so oppressive. All sorts of people are not allowed in the military. I probably wouldn't have been allowed, probably for some reason, for asthma or flat feet or something. All sorts of people are not allowed in the military. And transgender, which until 5 minutes ago was called gender dysphoria, i.e. a mental disease, of course they weren't allowed, and they shouldn't be allowed. And I'm glad that Trump is kicking them out. But of course, the Young Turks has to defend them.
I think that's outrageous. I think it's unconstitutional. I think that's the thing.
Not unconstitutional at all. Nothing to do with the Constitution.
We need to focus on and fight back against. But if you're spending your time fighting against mythical concentration camps, and you're so worried and you're driving everybody into a psychosis, not at all helpful. Stick with the facts. Lou B says, I'm certain the very same argument was made in support of World War II Japanese internment camps. Quote, we just want to protect them. I'm positive you're right about that. And that's why I'm opposed to sending them to Gitmo. So
yeah, by the way, let me just say, this isn't about protecting anybody, right? I also disagree with sending migrants to Gitmo. And I'm also furious that despite pretending like Obama and Biden were gonna close Gitmo, they did not do that. Okay, they did not shut down Gitmo. And so when you leave certain practices in place, okay, and that's the thing that drives me crazy, right? The reason why I have a problem with the lack of coverage of what Democrats are up to, because I do think corporate media provides cover for the bad behavior of Democrats. What ends up happening is it makes someone like Donald Trump seem like a unique threat, and Democrats get away with doing the same thing that we are against, right? And so why is it okay for a Democratic president to do it? I know that our viewer is not making that argument, but I'm positive the majority of people on the left have no idea that this was a common practice that was on steroids during the Clinton administration. And the reason why I have a problem with it, in addition to that, is that it makes Donald Trump seem like, ooh, a very unique threat. Oh my God. And it instills a lot of fear in people. So it's important to know what the reality is. I'm against this practice as well, but this is something that Democrats have been guilty of doing.
Yeah, of course Democrats have been doing. I mean, Democrats have been blaming Donald Trump, blaming him for stuff they've been doing since his first term. That's just business as usual. Well, on the left and probably just in politics in general. If your opponent's doing it, yeah, it's bad. If your team's doing it, yeah, it's fine. That's just the way it is, unfortunately, in politics. So, to be fair, the Young Turks are trying to be fair about it, but of course they're getting huge backlash from their base, and it's kind of funny to see. But personally, yeah, I mean, I'm not really in favor of Gitmo, but only because why? Why do they need to go there? But I don't know specifically who's being sent to Gitmo, if it's like hardened criminals or whatever, or illegals for whom there's some question about where to send them. Because as I understand it, a lot of the illegals who come into the country, they destroy their original documentation, so there's no proof of where they're from. So it might be for people like that. Anyway, round them up and throw them in as far as I'm concerned, but better just, take them, just send them back to their countries, and even better, don't let them in the first place. Hopefully that will become the new policy. Just close that border. Just close it. That's my simple take on that. If you have any comments, please feel free to write them underneath the video, and I will be happy to read them. In the meantime, see you in the next video.